Hi, so for this video I'm going to try to make a Lego Switch 2. So I made the Lego Switch OLED a while ago and it wasn't too good because like the dimensions were off and such. So I'm going to try to make this model more accurate and look better. And I'm also going to order the pieces for it. So you might have seen this already, but this is the 3D model that I'll be using to make this Switch 2. So as you can see, it has the Joy-Con grip right here, and it has the same kind of curve as a regular Joy-Con, and then it has like the slots on the sides, and then you have the Switch 2 itself, which is right here, and you can take off the Joy-Cons and it still has these tabs like normal, and then you also have the slot for the cartridge right here, which bends back. The Switch 2 also has a wide stand back here, so this can move, and the way it's attached is kind of weird because it has two Technic pins going in here with a rod through the center to make it grip harder. And then you also have the dock right here, which is made up of like three main pieces. You have the center part, which is this row along here, and then you have the front panel, and then you have the back panel part. You also have the back panel, which comes off right here, so you can see the vents and the power cords. I just got the first part of my order for the Switch 2, so let's open it. Let's take these out. Let's skip this in case it has any information on me. And then we got the parts. So, okay. It's just a giant bag. Well, there we go. That's most of the pieces I ordered. Some of them are clearly not for the Switch 2, like these chain pieces. I just wanted some. Just because I was running low. But, yeah, so let's open this. Okay, well, I have to figure out how to assemble it. So I just finished assembling everything. So we have the dock over here, the Switch right here, the two Joy-Cons, and the Joy-Con grip. But I'm so confused right now. I have so many extra pieces. Like, look at all these. I didn't order any of these. These were just extra. So I guess, thank you, Lego. I have extra stuff now. But yeah, so I can put the Switch in the dock for the first time. Hopefully it fits well. Yeah, that's nice. So I have both Switches here. I have the real Switch and I have the Lego Switch. So I'm just going to show you the differences between them. So first off, you have the Joy-Con grips. So you can see one is definitely Lego, but the colors are a little off just because Lego doesn't print all the pieces in the correct colors. So they're just a bit off. And you can see that on the main Switches too. Other than that, they're pretty similar. These Joy-Con grips have a little bit of wiggle to them. And then also, of course, they don't use magnets in them. They use studs to connect the stuff. But you have this side profile, which is pretty similar because I have this angle here and this angle here. And then the shape of and angle of the Joy-Cons is really similar. Also with the Joy-Con grips, you can see the Joy-Cons fit into them like this, and they both are able to slide because of the flat portions on the Joy-Con grips like that you hold. And it is pretty natural to hold this kind of like the real one. Like you put your hands here and you put your fingers around this, and it feels nice. And then onto the Switch docks. So I'll take out both Switches. Okay, so you have both docks. And yes, the Lego one, it has inaccurate colors. That's just because of the parts on the Lego website. So on the bottom, you don't have really any vents on the bottom, but they do both have feet. So you have the 4 feet on each side, just so they have this little gap here. So that makes the Lego one more similar. And then the Lego one is a bit shorter, but it still looks pretty similar. You also have the back panels on each one. So you still have the vents in the back, and then you have the slot for the wires to come out. So You have the Switch 2 one, which has this piece here to latch it in. The Lego one, it just pops off as a regular Lego piece would. So it has these 6 studs holding it in. So yeah, you just have this part. And then you have vents. You have vents. Then this pops up a bit. This pops up a bit. They're really similar. And then you have the vent part here and the vent part here. The angle on these is a bit off, but Lego doesn't produce the pieces to make the angle perfect, so that's just something you have to live with. On the inside, you have right here, you have whatever this pressure plate thing is to like help center the switch and help charge it and like not ruin the USB-C ports. So on this one, you don't have that, but you still do have this little tooth piece that helps center the switch when you put it in there. And I could show that. So you put the switch in, and then it centers it itself. So it has a little wiggle room, but not too much. And same on the real switch, of course. You can see that. But yeah, and on to the Joy-Cons. I'll take them off. So as you can see, like one is a lot easier to take off than the other, just because the Legos don't have really powerful magnets holding them in. But yeah, you can see this is the wrong color just because the pieces weren't on the Lego website. I might order them later, I don't know. But yeah, so if you look at the button placement for these bottom buttons, it's better, but the joystick is a bit off just because I can't mount one of the joysticks on the curved pieces. So that's just something I have to live with. The back is pretty similar. I mean, this is a bit larger just because of how I had to build it to hold the sloped parts for the triggers. But that's pretty similar. This one's a little farther apart because now the buttons are in the wrong spot and the joystick, because the joystick is really low compared to what it's supposed to be, just so it has more space from the buttons. And then the buttons are way lower than they're supposed to be because I can't mount buttons on here. And then on to the switches. I'll put these over here. So you have the Switch 2 and the Switch 2 Lego. So if you look at the side profile, you can see it does have a sharper corner at the front and then curve back. So I tried to replicate that with these pieces again. And then they both also have the stand. So you have the stand for the Lego one, and then you have the stand for the real one. And they're pretty similar. I mean, this is the max range of this one. This is the max range of this one. So they're pretty similar in a few ways. And then you also have the slots to insert the Joy-Cons. You also have the game cartridge slot, so you can put the games in here. So I have a black game, I have Tetris, and I have an actual Lego game, whatever this is called. So let's put that in there. And so it slots in. This does have to have this like study part here, just because of how I had to mount it. So if you look, this piece has the studs on the side, so it has to hold the hinge. So that's just the way that works. And then if you want to look at the dimensions, they're really similar. The width is almost nearly the same. It's probably off by like a millimeter or so. And then the height is off by a little bit more, but it's still kind of difficult to tell. And then this doesn't have the logos on it, obviously. And then you don't have the buttons on the top just because I wasn't able to put them on here. But you do have the vents, which are kind of similar. So you do have that. And then on the bottom, you have the vents down here. And yeah, that's about all the differences between the Switch 2 and the Switch 2 Lego. Yeah, so that's about the entire build process, probably about 30 hours in total. Thanks for watching this far, and I'll see you next time.